You're 34 years old. You have a good life. Not a remarkable life, a good one. You own a 2-bedroom house in a suburb that doesn't make the news. You have a job at a mid-sized logistics company where you manage supply chain data and nobody hates you. You have a dog named Hector, a standing Friday night dinner with 2 couples you've known since your late 20s, and a jogging route you've run so many times you can do it blind. You sleep well. You don't have nightmares. You are, by every measurable standard, a person who figured it out. You know your neighbors by name. You have a dentist you actually see twice a year and a savings account that isn't embarrassing. You're not special in the way that gets you noticed and not boring in the way that gets you forgotten. You think you're a person named Daniel Marsh. You are not. You don't know it yet, but right now it's Tuesday. You're making coffee. You're checking the weather. You have no idea what you are. The text arrives on a Thursday morning while you're in a parking garage at work. You almost don't read it. You're holding a travel mug in your laptop bag when your phone buzzes and you glance down out of a habit, expecting a bank notification or a message from your landlord about the gutter invoice. The number has no area code. The message is 11 words long. You read it once, then again, and something happens in your body that you have no name for. Not fear, not recognition. Something older than either of those things. Something that lives below conscious thought in a place you didn't know existed until this exact moment. Your hand stops shaking before you realize it was shaking. Your breathing slows. Your vision sharpens at the edges. You don't feel panic. That's the worst part. You feel the opposite of panic. You feel like something has finally started. You go upstairs to your desk. You open your laptop and spend the next 4 hours processing fright invoices and answering emails with correct punctuation. And at no point does anyone around you have any indication that the person in the ergonomic chair nearest the window is not who they always assume to be. Because you don't know it either. Not completely. Not yet. But something has been switched on. And it does not switch back off. That night you sit in your car in your own driveway for 20 minutes before going inside. You're not doing anything. You're just sitting there, engine off, hands in your lap, while your nervous system recalibrates around something it has apparently been waiting 11 years to receive. Hector is at the window. You can see him. His breath fogs the glass. You go inside. You feed him. You do not sleep. The first thing you understand is that you know things you shouldn't. Not big things, not yet. Small ones. You're driving to work the next morning and you automatically take a different route. Surface streets instead of the highway. And it's only when you're 3 blocks away from the office that you realize you were watching for a tail. Not thinking about it, doing it. Your mirrors checked in a specific sequence. Your speed varied at specific intervals. Your eyes cataloged every car that stayed in your field of vision for more than 2 consecutive blocks. You don't know what a tail is, not consciously, but your hands knew what to do. Your eyes knew where to look. The knowledge is in your body, the way swimming is in your body. Not retrieved, just executed. You get to your desk and stare at your monitor for a full minute before opening anything. That night you stand in your kitchen and look at your hands. Really look at them. Like you're meeting them for the first time and trying to work out what they're for. Hector whines at the pantry door. You feed him. You eat something you don't even taste. You sit on your couch and you try to remember where you grew up and the memories are all there. Childhood home, school, university, the apartment you rented at 24, the job before this one. Every memory is fully rendered, textured, specific. You go to your laptop and look up a neighborhood in a city you have no reason to know anything about, and you find it immediately. Your fingers type the address like they've typed it 1,000 times. A street you've never visited, in a country you've never been to. You watch the satellite image load. You recognize it, the configuration of buildings, the way the streets meet at the northwest corner. 3 park blocks east. You know which entrance to use, where the blind spots are, how many minutes it takes to walk from the main road to the building at the end of the cul-de-sac. You close your laptop, you lie in the dark and listen to Hector breathing at the foot of the bed. And you think about how much of you is actually yours. By day 3, you've stopped questioning the memories and started cataloging your skills. You find a logbox in the back of your closet behind the winter coats you haven't touched in 2 years. You know the combination before your fingers reach the dial. 3 turns right, 2 left, 1 right. The gun inside is clean and maintained. Someone has been in here more recently than you. You dismantle it and reassemble it in under a minute and your hands don't even hesitate. You know 3 languages at conversational fluency that you never studied. You discover this when the television in the background switches to a foreign news channel while you're making lunch and you understand every single word. You can read people with a precision that has no business belonging to a supply chain manager. You can identify exits in any room within 4 seconds of entering. You can drive at speeds that should be beyond your ability with your hands completely calm the entire time. You know how to make someone trust you, not by being charming, by being exactly what he needs you to be. You catch yourself doing it with your coworker Sarah when she stops by your desk and asks why you seem distracted. You shift almost involuntarily, right amounts of eye contact. A follow-up question about her weekend. You make her feel like she's the one who did you a favor by checking in. She smiles and goes back to her desk. Afterwards, you sit very still and think about how long you've been doing that. Your whole life, maybe with everyone. You think about your Friday night with friends, Marcus and Claire, whose daughter started walking 2 months ago and who send video clips into the group chat constantly. James and Priya, who have been trying to have a baby for 3 years and don't talk about it directly, but you can see it in the way Priya goes quiet sometimes when Claire's daughter is in the room. 6 years of Friday dinners. You know how James takes his coffee and which topics makes Marcus go quiet. You think about whether you know those things because you care about them or because you were built to retain data about the people in your operational vicinity. You think about whether there's a difference, whether Daniel Marsh is a person or a document. You keep going to work, you keep feeding Hector, you keep running your jogging route in the mornings. Except now you're clocking observation points, cataloging vehicles by make and color, noting which houses have security cameras and their coverage angles. You can't turn it off. It runs under everything like a current you didn't know was there until someone flipped a switch. You go to a Friday dinner. You sit in James and Priya's kitchen and eat terrible risotto. And the whole time a part of you is running quietly underneath it all, mapping exits, assessing each of these 4 people for what they know about you and what they might tell someone if someone came asking. You drive home and sit in the driveway again, longer this time. The second message comes on day 6. Different number, same format, no area code, just digits. An address and a time this time, nothing else. You don't decide to go, you just do. The decision happens somewhere below decision making. The same place the route surveillance happened. The same place the gun disassembly happened. The address is a parking structure on the edge of downtown. 3rd floor. A mostly empty level at 9 p.m. on a weeknight. You're there 12 minutes early and you spend those 12 minutes at the far corner with sidelines to both entrance ramps and your back to a concrete pillar, and you don't think about the fact that you knew to do that. You just do it. Silver car pulls in. A woman gets out. 50s. Gray coat. Looks like a financial advisor. She stops 6 feet away and tells you your name. Your real name. The one you've never heard before. It hits your head like a stone dropped into deep water. She tells you how long you've been under. 11 years. She says it the way someone reads a utility meter. Information, not revelation. She tells you the activation was delayed. Something went wrong on their end. The timeline shifted twice. She doesn't explain what went wrong. She says it the way you'd explain a delayed flight. Inconvenient, resolved, irrelevant now that you're here. She tells you that within a month you'll receive a target, a person. Your job is to get close, verify identity, and eliminate. You ask who. She looks at you for the first time. Her eyes are the color of winter sky, not cold, just pale. It doesn't matter who, she says. It will matter to someone, but not you. She gets back in the car and drives down the ramp without looking back. You listen to the engine fade. Then you're standing alone in a parking structure with fluorescent lights humming, and somewhere below, your car alarm goes off and then stops. You feel the part of you they built settle into something like readiness, calm, patient, capable, waiting. You drive home from the parking structure and make a dinner and you watch television, then you go to bed. You sleep fine. That's the part that should scare you the most, and it doesn't. In the morning you run your jogging route, you shower, you go to work. You process frightened voices and answer emails, and at lunch you eat a sandwich at your desk. Sarah asks if you're feeling better and you tell her yes, just needed some sleep. And you give her the right amount of eye contact and she believes you. The part of you they build has received instructions. It is not panicking, it is not conflicted. It is doing what it always done, running quietly underneath the surface of Daniel Marsh's life, patient as a machine. The target comes in the second week, an envelope under your front door, slid through while you were asleep, white envelope, no markings. You take it to the kitchen table, Hector sits at your feet. You open it, a name, a workplace address, a daily schedule typed in 12-point font, a photograph. She's 41. She teaches at a university 3 miles from where you're sitting. The photograph is candid. Coffee shop, afternoon lights. Then you put it down and start reading the schedule. She parks in the same structure every day. Level 2, east stairwell. She leaves between 5:30 and 6:45 depending on the day. You read it twice. You fold the papers back into an envelope and put it in a lockbox with the gun. You go for a run. You notice somewhere in the first mile that you already begun to plan. Not consciously, the same way you watch for a tail without deciding to. By the end of the run, the shape of it's already there. Clean, efficient. 3 days observation, 2 preparation, 1 to move. You stretch on your front step. You go inside, you shower. You're not going to the FBI. You understand that now in a way you didn't before the envelope arrived. It isn't a decision you made so much as a decision you notice yourself not making. The way you notice you're not afraid, not conflicted, not lying awake. A part of you that was built for this has simply taken over, the way it takes over the driving, and the surveillance, and the exit mapping. It has been waiting 11 years to be useful, and now it is useful and is not interested in being argued with. The other part of you is still there somewhere. 3 days of observation, and she is exactly as the schedule described. You watch her from a car you borrowed through a method you didn't even know you knew. You watch her walk into a building, watch her take her lunch at the window table, watch her in the east stairwell with her bag over one shoulder, checking her phone on the way to the car. She has a way of pausing on the second floor landing to finish reading what's ever on the screen before she keeps moving. She's real. That's the thing you keep noticing and then stopping yourself from noticing. She stops to hold the door for someone carrying a stack of papers. She tips the cafe counter person more than the receipt requires. And on the second day, she sits at the window table and laughs at something on her phone. She has no idea anyone is watching. She's completely and ordinarily alive. The part of you they built registers this as data. You sit with that for one night. You don't fight it and you don't feed it. You just let it make its noise in the other room until it gets tired. And then you go to sleep. And in the morning, you get up and you run your route. You go back inside and you take the envelope out of the lockbox and you read the schedule one more time. Day 6, the landing, the pause. You close the lockbox. You get dressed. You leave the house while it's still dark. Hector watches you go from the top of the stairs. You don't look back. You drive. The city is quiet. The lights on the highway are amber and evenly spaced, and you move through them at exactly the speed limit, not faster. Both hands on the wheel. You think about the parking structure, the woman in the gray coat, her pale eyes. It doesn't matter who. You understood that then. You understand it completely now. You park 2 blocks from the university. You check the time. You get out of your car and you walk.